Welcome, Andrew Yang. The New York Times called your entire outlook something like the robot apocalypse. Why should we all be worried about the future of work?
Well, it is mind-boggling that America is so blind to the fact that there's an elephant in the room that's tearing our economy and our society apart, and that is that technology is making human labor less and less central. Between 2000 and 2015, America automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs in the Midwest. And so it's no longer speculative. It's no longer, oh, what are we going to do when robots come or AI comes? They're here, and we are dealing with it by pretending it's not happening.
However, the numbers about the economy tell a slightly different tale. And I was wondering why you think the future of work will just roll over this entire society.
Well, one of the major problems in America today is that we're being blinded by certain numbers, namely GDP, stock market, and headline unemployment. And those are the numbers that our business media bandy around, say, look, things must be going well. But those numbers don't correspond to the average experience on the ground for most Americans. The bottom 80% of Americans only own 8% of stock market wealth, and the bottom half of Americans own 0. So GDP is going to keep going up and up, even as more Americans get left behind because companies can become much more efficient with fewer employees. That to me actually is what concerns me the most, is this magical thinking. It's like that the market will figure it all out. And one of the things that I'm very confident of is that the market does not care about those people. And to me, the surest sign of what's going to happen to the retail workers or the truck drivers or the Uber drivers or the call center workers is what happened to manufacturing workers. And America is completely unprepared for what this is going to mean.
I do share the fear that many people have that a wide variety of things that human beings do will be automated over the next 20 years because of advances in artificial intelligence and robotics technologies. But I believe that eventually the technological progress will create more jobs than it destroys, just like it has always done through history. Perhaps this one will be a little faster than some of the others, and so the transition will be more challenging. Now, as we sort of face the specter of accelerated automation for a couple of decades, I think that one of the biggest policy challenges that we face is managing the transition. In many ways, the outcome of the 2016 election and the Brexit outcome in the United Kingdom were a reaction to having mismanaged the previous transition of the automation of manufacturing. We did not have an infrastructure in place. We did not have a safety net in place to help people make that transition mid-career. And
do you see these institutions in place? Do you see any example for that happening already? Because we're in the middle of this transition already,
yes.
Right?
Well, we're at the early stages of the AI and robotics-enabled transition. I think it will become far more profound over the next 10 or 20 years.
But you're optimistic about this transition process as a whole?
Well, I'm a glass half full kind of guy, so I'm cautiously optimistic. I think that the confidence that I have that the government will see it as something that is their responsibility rather than the responsibility of the corporation is greater because it's not just a business issue. It's a broader societal issue, and it's one where I think we've had some evidence that mismanaging it can lead to pretty adverse consequences.
With my history as a journalist, I know what a lot of the opinions outside of the technology community are of automation. And I think there's a lot of fear, especially in the West. I think that people think like the robots are here to take their jobs and stuff like that. But what we see, and I think what there is a misconception of, is that commerce is changing in a way that is becoming almost like more labor intensive. And it's not that companies are trying to replace people. It's that if you want to keep up with the scale at which you need to manage logistics or fulfillment, you can't grow to on a one-to-one basis. You need to be able to handle a higher volume. So JD's kind of an evolving company. We are the largest retailer in China. We have the world's first B2C fulfillment center that's fully automated, meaning as soon as the products enter, the warehouse to the moment that they leave, there's no manual processes. Everything's automated. We also have a drone delivery program so we can get products out to really remote areas of China very efficiently and quickly.
And how does a person in rural China react to a drone?
They love it.
delivery?
They love it, yeah. I think for them it's a combination of seeing like this super high tech with getting, a product that they used to have to travel hours to get. So things worked a certain way for many decades, right? And a lot of industries were built around that, especially in the West, because retail has been developing for over 100 years out here. In China, it's all developed in such a short time, and there was not a lot of legacy infrastructure to break down in order to start anew, and there wasn't a lot of legacy like consumer habits to break as well. So like people didn't have to unlearn their behavior. They didn't have to stop shopping at their mom's favorite store in order to embrace e-commerce or buying seafood online and things like that. So given that change and the fact that all the way up the supply chain you're talking about things speeding up in terms of pace and also a lot of unpredictable things, you need automation to help you meet that demand. Otherwise, people are not going to get what they want.
What do you think about the future of work? Join these 3 experts and many more this Thursday in New York City.